Okay, my name is Dr. Eddie Low. I have been a family doctor for 45 years, and I worked in the emergency for 24 years in Misaka Hospital. I have three clinics, and I worked in three hospitals, about 4,000 patients. Now I'm 85 years old now. Retired for 9 years, but is still very active, helping out in the community, give them the right information, how to prevent heart attack, stroke, and Alzheimer's, cancer, and so on. And believe in prevention is better than cure. So I'm so happy to have the opportunity to speak to the public. My experience with drug addiction, and also the way how to help to solve the problem, because now everybody knows this fentanyl and hard drugs are getting to be a very serious problem in North America, Canada, and the States, and all over the world actually. And I hope to give more information into the core of the problem and how to solve it. 40 years ago, drug addiction mainly soft drugs like cocaine, opiates, and Percocet, and so on. But now, this fentanyl is 100 times more potent than morphine, and it's really killing a lot of people, affecting not only individuals, as the whole family, the community, economically, politically, and financially. So it is a number one problem in Canada and the States and all over the world. We know that no matter how much we try, the recovery rate of drug addiction, even alcoholism and so on, is very low. For fentanyl, the recovery rate is only about 27%. So, but we still try our best how to treat them medically. But this is a multifaceted approach with a concerted determination and how to solve it, because inactivity is not an option as far as try to face this problem squarely on the face. So we used to use methadone and so to replace these hard drugs. There's some drugs now which is to save the patient from overdose, and it's good in a way, but it's still not the problem. Of course, to solve the problem, it requires education to the public, especially the younger generation. I think we should give credit to those who really recover, and they should really be set an example how to do it. I had some also exchange ideas with mainland China and also Singapore, and so who has successfully solved this problem quite nicely. I think we should really discuss with them how to approach the problem and make it more efficient, because they have, like in Singapore, you can, right in the airport, you can see that they have notices. You have carried so much, so many grams of drugs, you'll be in big trouble, and the penalties were very severe. And even in Korea, or in hotels, in education systems, schools and so on, they have notices on the board to warn people all as much as possible, and they have TV, advertisement, so education, and also expose this, take an active approach. Anybody who's selling drugs in school and so on, they inform the public, to inform the authority right away, instead of, leave it on, it's like that, and we're buddies and we don't report them. This is considered a major problem, even a crime to do that. So the informant system is very good, and very severe penalty is must be enforced. The law must be changed to penalize these drug pushers and distributors, and they have even not only stiff sentences and penalties, they can confiscate their houses, and because the profits margin for these drug pushers are phenomenal, like 1 to 1,000, and a lot of people are willing to take this chance to, they have nothing to lose really. That's why this is so epidemic. You must cut off the source first. 60% of the fentanyl precursors are smuggled from China. So politically, and years ago they don't consider fentanyl as a restricted drug, and only Trump was the one who forced them to proclaim that this is a hard drug that's killing people. But I don't want to get into politics, but they even subsidize the companies that make this drug. So because to enrich themselves and create chaos in the democratic countries, right? So we have to have the courage to tell the truth. I'm 85 years old now. I have nothing to gain. I just want to. I'm so happy that so many people in this room are taking a proactive approach to this very, very serious problem, because it affects everybody in the community, your next generation, your morality, financially, even your safety, security, right? Because when the drug addicts run out of money, they would do anything to satisfy the urge. So in communist China, they do have this problem too, but the penalty is so severe, even capital punishment for these people in the democratic society may not be visible, but still we should have very stronger law, stronger penalty, stronger enforcement to overcome this problem. So what they do is, when you have these addicts, they separate them away from the populated area, like 60 miles from Beijing, and they were kept in a re-education center, and they were treated with acupuncture, even herbal medicine, and Western medicine as well, and they retrain these people like a proper profession, even they are not really educated, like sewing, the ladies for sewing, make furniture, use the wine making baskets, things like that. And they have something to go on rehabilitation. If you go in this society, you come up from the rehab center, right away they go back to the same environment.
Yes.
And how do you rehabilitate? Impossible. But in their system, they can force the people to be treated. But here, it's too liberal. Okay, after 1 or 2 months, some of my patients went to methadone. Okay, they're dry for 1 or 2 months. When they go back to the street, they go back they meet the same friend, the same environment, polluted, and it's almost impossible to kill them for life. So you need the very powerful with determination and coordinated effort. You should really declare this as a national emergency. Make it a national day for drug rehabilitation and drug, and it has to force upon the next generation that anybody, your buddies, got into this, report to police right away. Nobody. It's a buddy system, covering it up, pretend that nothing happened, right? We have to face it's like a cancer. If you don't cut it off, the primary site in stage 1 or 2, you die in the stage 4, right? And even you recover, you require drastic measures. You already metastasized to different areas in your body. It's 10 times more difficult to treat, right? So I firmly believe we need. I'm so happy so many people got involved in this room, right? Because we need more people like this, more coordination, more advertisement, more to propagate this so important way to fight this epidemic that's really destroying our society. So anything that I can help, I would be happy to give my assistance, especially the medical side of this problem, because it's very, very frustrating, even for doctors like me, because I see this in emergency. Sometimes when I work in emergency, it's so frustrating. Patient come in, they ask for Tylenol number 4. I said I'd never prescribe Tylenol number 4 because it's double the dose of codeine. They will hook you up. What's your license? They are threatening me, a doctor, how to treat you by threatening me to not to, because I won't give them the drug. Can you imagine how daring, how absurd the situation is because of the liberty. There is a state called too democratic, too much emphasis on personal freedom, that even the one who try to save them, the problem, they're threatening me to give them the drug. It's so absurd, so frustrating. It's only you work in emergency you can feel the tension. We pour our heart out to help them, and they turn around trying to destroy us, to try our reputation. So this must be never happen. If they need help, some of them really need institutionalized, and there's not enough addiction center to give injection site or decriminalize is a form of failed policy, because that you just give up. Okay, pretend this is a sickness. There's people become addicts for many reasons. Okay, could be a social problem, could be a family problem, could be a psychiatric problem, and you look at the homeless people, right? 67% of them are really addicts, right? and the other 30-40%, they do have some people. Sometimes we are really unlucky. Sympathize with them. They have financial problem, marriage problem, family problem. So those are completely different categories. I'm talking about those 60% who are homeless because of addiction. Okay, so if we solve this problem, we save a lot of money, save the future, save a lot of policing and also crimes and really the cancer of the society. So if anybody have any questions to ask, I'll try my best to.
I'm sorry. I think I have a question.
Yeah.
I guess part of the audience here may also have the same question. You just mentioned Tylenol number 4. So do you mind if you elaborate a little bit more about Tylenol number 4 and what's the function of it and why you are being why you were threatened because you sort of refused to give it out.
Yes. Well, everybody knows Tylenol. It's not strong enough for sometimes number 2, more codeine ingredient there, and just really you have very bad headaches and the pain anywhere, where arthritis pain of any types. We give number 3, and that's our limit. Time number 4 is so high a dose that of codeine that will codeine is addictive. I never prescribe it, but the addicts are using it the same as Percocet or Pepperton. These are old drugs, 20, 30 years ago, were common and still used. But now the people who is using Percocet, Pepperton, who's addicted, are suing the company because they were pushing doctors and they become one of the major addicting ingredient for the older generation. For that's about 20, 30 years ago. But still, it is a problem because people are making a lot of money in the black market
No, I just remember those drugs from the mid 70s to the mid 80s.
Yeah,
so
that's a very
Ritalin was
that's
another
the same
one.
as fentanyl
was
now. Yeah.
also
Yes.
another one that was always prescribed to the to the people that were drug addicts. So as you indicated, the Percodan, Percocet, remember them very clearly.
Yes, that at that time LSD, the rape drugs, things like that. We see quite a lot in emergency, and I, of course we see 20, 30 patients at the same time. We don't have time to educate the drug addict. All we can do that is to tell them the harm in 1 or 2 sentences. So we don't have time to really tell them what to do, right? So that's what I'm retired now for 9 years. I'm trying to give the public the right information. Anybody who anything I can help really. So I also treat terminal cancer patients too. When people give up, but that's another topic. I don't want to get into this conversation.
All right. So, Dr. Lo, thank you so much for your heart and your experience, extensive experience and expertise in giving us all this information. From what you said, I understand that this problem is so complex and multifaceted. But if, let's say, the governments or the people in positions of authority were to focus their resources on 1 or 2 particular areas, which areas do you think are the most pressing that they should focus their resources on? at this moment to battle this epidemic, because there's no way that they can throw all their resources at 6-7 different directions, as we right now the province is in so much debt, so we have to use our resources wisely. So what area do you think would be the most sensible to allocate the majority of our resources towards?
I would think education of the public, the school system, and the public have to realize this is not an isolated problem. It can affect every individual, every family, the whole society as a whole. Because just to put this headaches and treatment programs very expensive. So prevention is always better than cure. Of course, we have to focus on prevention, treatment, rehabilitation, and also stop the source of fentanyl too. Yes. So politically, they have to condemn this fentanyl synthesis. Fentanyl still useful in the right way in the anesthesiologist area. So it's like nuclear medicine. It can be used to make hydro bomb.
Yes.
You can use to generate energy quite safely.
Yes.
So you have to be directed in the same area. I would say education and also law enforcement, toughen the law,
right.
and that doesn't need any money. and at the same time, give those who are really willing to receive the right treatment to reform their life, and we must glorify and accept those who successfully rehabilitated. They should give the story how they get into this problem in the first place, and how they recover from it after a long struggle, and how good they feel, and how good the family would accept them back into the society. Yeah, that's my opinion. But of course, this is you should have a very national committee for drug treatment and enforcement, and how to solve this epidemic.
Right.
So that's as far as how much money should be allocated in this area. I would say still education and law enforcement. I think that doesn't require that much money. Okay, and but effective. That would become into my mind at present. There might be better solutions too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think we should really discuss this problem with the countries who have successfully eliminated this problem.
Yes.
We'll really see what can be implemented in the more democratic society, because a lot of things that is effective may not be legal or permissible in this area. We can't isolate this patient in a certain island. Even in Hong Kong or in Vietnam, they send it to a completely different area in an island.
Yes.
And to rehabilitate, actually it's quite effective, because you put these people back in the same environment, they would get back to the same habit again.
Right.
And same people. So it's so important. There might be some middle way that we can do in a democratic society to facilitate this kind of effective treatment.
Yes. Okay. Yes, thank you for your insight, Dr. Lo. Okay, is there-
Yeah. So, Dr. Law, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience with us. This is so precious. We really appreciate that. Right now, what's going on in BC, it will blow your mind. So they put the drug addicts together with the seniors, with the handicapped, with the mother fleeing from family violence with their little kids. Okay, so they call it the mixed affordable living. And they, with the ones that admit drug addicts, they call it low barrier housing. And with the ones that do not allow drug use in there, they call it high barrier, but it's very rare. So most of the housing projects right now pushed into different communities are the low barrier ones. So I asked some leadership race candidates in the BC Conservative Party, and one of them even said, well, I think the drug addicts, when they end up in the streets, we need to provide them living. So it's called a living, shelter first and then treatment, but they never get proper treatment in the supportive housing or shelters. They were offered more drugs, right? They call it harm reduction, but in fact they're harmed more with the accessibility of the drugs. So what do you say to this kind of low barrier, high barrier living situation? I mean, even for high barrier, because you're still living with drug addicts, even though you don't allow drugs, how can you guarantee they don't use drugs when they have this addiction that's not treated, right? So what do you suggest to the government in this regard and all those officials that are in that important position that are making decisions?
Well, of course, nobody wants to have this kind of live in this kind of neighborhood and environment, because no matter how human behavior cannot be guaranteed. When you're living in the middle class area, then you introduce some the different doubtful elements into this area. It can affect your children, it can affect your family. Not only criminal activity might be increased, or it can influence your family life, because they would take that as like a normal type of life. They try to normalize a criminal activity.
Yes.
So which is completely wrong. So we must not let this happen for your own family, for your safety, and for the future of the next generation.